So let's talk a little bit about energy efficiency. When we think of energy efficiency, we immediately think about the performance of the heating equipment in your home or the hot water heating equipment in your home. And it's important to look at those things and maximize the amount of efficiency. For example, a very high efficient natural gas furnace, for example, at 96, 97% efficient, really does a great job of not only being ultra efficient in terms of the amount of energy that you get out of the system compared to the amount of energy that it consumes is a very high ratio. It's also very high in performance and being able to maintain comfort within the home. And we also talked a little bit about heat pump technology, and an air source heat pump, for example, is extremely efficient and does a really good job most of the time. However, it's important to take into consideration when it gets very cold and that energy efficiency or the energy performance of the heat pump may not be keeping up. To understand the energy efficiency of the backup system, whether that be a gas furnace or electric furnace, but to understand how well that performs as well as the level of energy efficiency that affords you. There are a couple of other things that we need to consider when we're talking about energy efficiency in owning a home, and understanding that while it's one thing to generate the heat that makes you comfortable in your home, for example, it's another thing to keep the heat in, and that adds greatly to the energy efficiency of a home. So an effort should be made to find and seal any air leaks and around doors and windows. And it's interesting to know that in the average home, small openings in the outer shell of the house account for almost 30% of the total heat loss. Windows and doors, about a quarter of a home's total heat loss, especially during the colder months, and usually occurring through the actual window and door itself, as well as any space around doorways. The bottom of doorways are very common to find enough gap at the bottom of a doorway where there's so much cold air that can infiltrate the building that simply buying some weather stripping for a few bucks can save an enormous amount of energy, and ultimately that means money back in your pocket. So it's important to just take a good hard look around as a homeowner and do that on a regular basis. Look for those areas that you can fill in the gaps and stop air leakage or air exchange. Again, in the summertime, about a third of the heat that enters a home is through the windows, from sun just shining on through the windows. But windows are, it's a negative and a positive. You've got a great opportunity if your home, especially if your home is positioned properly in the wintertime, to get some of that passive energy that comes from sunshine in the wintertime coming through your windows can also be used as a kind of a passive solar heating to help in those winter months as well. And of course, windows provide natural daylight and views to the outside world, so you want to be able to own a home where you can actually use those windows. Make sure, especially if you're buying a new home, ask about the quality of window, ask about the type of window, and ask about the efficiency of operating of the window, because it can make a significant difference in not only the energy consumption, but in the overall comfort of your home. Whether you're buying a new home or whether you're looking at buying a pre-owned home, it's important to understand what rebates are available. Both major utilities, Fortis and BC Hydro, have different rebates available to help you conserve energy and reduce the costs and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions.